to leave his friends and go for help. He crawled back through the mine passage, squeezed through the keyhole entrance, and immediately called emergency services. The Pacoya Fire Company responded to the call, but they quickly realized this wasn't going to be a simple rescue. When they arrived at Cool Caves and assessed the situation, they found two young men trapped deep in the mine, one wedged solid in a hexagonal passage and the other trapped beyond the constriction with no way out. Dozens of firefighters and rescue workers were called to the scene. The hexagonal shape of the passage created unique challenges they rarely encountered in typical cave rescues. The rescue team had to navigate the keyhole entrance themselves, bringing equipment through the tight opening and into the mine tunnel. Once inside, they had to crawl 150 feet to reach the trapped men, working in cramped conditions with limited space to maneuver. After evaluating their options, the rescue team decided on an unconventional approach. They brought in soap and water to create lubrication around the trapped friend's torso. The idea was to reduce friction between his body and the hexagonal stone walls, allowing him to compress slightly and slide backward through the constriction. The process was slow and methodical. Rescue workers had to work in the cramped hexagonal passage, applying soap and water around the trapped man's chest and ribs. The geometric walls made it difficult to get the lubricant where it was needed most, and they had to work carefully to avoid injuring the already distressed victim. For 2 agonizing hours, the rescue operation continued. The trapped Culver remained wedged in the hexagonal passage while dozens of emergency responders worked to free him. The psychological pressure was intense. The first of the group, trapped on the far side of the constriction, could do nothing but wait and try to provide moral support. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the soap and water technique began to work. The lubrication reduced the friction enough for the trapped caver to compress his chest slightly and begin to work his way backward through the hexagonal constriction. Inch by painful inch, he slid back through the geometric passage that had held him prisoner. When he finally popped free from the section, the relief was overwhelming, but the ordeal wasn't over. Both young men still had to crawl 150 feet back through the mine tunnel, squeeze through the keyhole entrance, and reach safety on the surface. When they finally emerged from Cool Caves after their 2-hour underground ordeal, the second friend was treated for minor injuries, scrapes and bruises from the rough stone walls and the extraction process. All 3 young men were shaken, but grateful that their casual exploration hadn't ended in tragedy. Later, they found out that the passage was never meant for a human. This hexagon passage used to be used to move equipment or objects using a pulley or conveyor belt system. They were lucky enough to get out of it alive,